timeless. It's a statement piece. The technology in Timeless is unprecedented, it's unique, it's innovative, it's industry leading. You're going to see the most powerful symmetrical weight blocks mixed with our most successful cover stock. The pins have no chance. This is why the ball is timeless.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Xtra Frame. It's the PBA Xtra Frame Greater Jonesboro Open. I'm Randy Peterson. Joining me, former U.S. Open champ Robert Lawrence. Robert, we have a great foursome for our Stepladder finals, but this event was all about the complete domination by Ryan Ciminelli.
Oh, it sure was. You know, it almost felt like a U.S. Open condition out there this weekend. It was tough, and that's why the great bowlers finished towards the top. Any
predictions?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and three of those guys are past U.S. Open champions. And so no disrespect to Stu, but I'm going to say a U.S. Open champion wins this thing.
All right, folks, have a seat and stay tuned to some great action coming your way here on Xtra Frame.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's start this roll off with a nice round of applause. Pick a favorite, cheer them on.
All right, everyone, getting ready for match number one. Big Wes Malott, the Beast, taking on Frankie Lavoie. I don't know if there's ever been a bigger separation in size.
This would be like in our day, Steve Cook bowling Chris Warren or something like that.
Right. And what a grind this week these players went through to get to this point. You can see all the rosin caked up on Frankie Lavoie's black slacks. Keeps that rosin bag in his pocket.
Nice opening shot.
You know, it was interesting, Robert. I actually spoke to Wes prior to the start of the Stepladder finals, and I asked him, I said, you know, with the complete domination by Ryan Ciminelli, are you three right-handers going to get together and try to create something on the right side to give yourselves a chance? And Wes said, no.
No, he doesn't need anybody's help. He's going to do it on his own. I tell you what, the three righties, though, quite possibly playing three different parts of the lane maybe. You know, they attack them differently.
Like, I think that Stu and Frankie are going to be – well, Wes actually said, I think that Stu and Frankie are going to be fairly close to one another.
You know, and I guess so. Early on, this is like bowling on the fresh oil. You know, in the fresh oil, you try to stay out of trouble for a few games. And when you're bowling on a show like this, it's pretty much like bowling on fresh oil the whole time. So play in an area that tries to keep you out of trouble.
And also it'll be interesting to see if Ciminelli has the same look that he's had.
You know, how many times have we seen it over the years? A guy leads by a whole bunch and then gets beaten one game.
Yep.
It just happens. It's the format.
Big West starts flat 10, 4-pin. The good news, both balls in the pocket. West just missing out on the number 2 seed by a pin.
You know, and I think, and he was visibly a little mad about it. And I think he would have rather the other two guys get a game under their belt on the lanes, let the lanes calm down a little bit before he had to get back out there.
Yeah, it's a good point. Absolutely. Get one game on the championship pair. Watch what the two players do in front of you.
Yep.
And then get out there.
Oop.
Oh, my. Location was in between second and third arrow, but it looked like the hand was dead.
And that's, you know, you get scared to, as we say, touch the ball. Grab it a little bit because it goes sideways.
Yep.
So you miss it at the bottom and it goes the other direction.
kept talking on Xtra Frame about how this is very similar to a reverse block because of the hang to the outside part of the lane and hook in the middle. And anytime you bowl on a condition like that, they're going to be low scoring.
Yeah, it's craziest, little modified cheetah, but craziest. Oh boy! But we were saying, in practice on Friday, this feels more like a U.S. Open pattern. Short, hook, flat in the middle, all hang to the outside.
Yeah, many said it was harder than a U.S. Open.
I tell you what.
And you bowled this week.
I did bowl. I can vouch that it was difficult. I made it to today, but I didn't bowl a 200 game today.
Wow.
Oh.
And there it is, a little straighter on that lane, and it goes through the nose.
And your, instinct tells you to help it a little or don't overfire it. So you decelerate a little bit, and it just hooks 10 feet sooner.
And a lot of times for a player, that's overcompensation from the previous shot.
Yeah.
You miss it on the right lane, your brain says, okay, don't miss this one,
exactly.
and you overhit it.
Yep.
Trying to avoid back-to-back opens.
There wasn't a whole lot of easy spares. There's no gimme spares out there.
We watched players shoot the 2-8 throwing a straight ball. E.J. Tackett throwing a backup ball at the 3-6, 9-10. But, no surprise that the four players that have made the Stepladder finals, and you look at who we have and how great these players are. You mentioned in the Open two former U.S. Open champs, the reigning U.S. Open champ in Frankie Lavoie, and Ryan Ciminelli, a 7-time titleist.
And then you got Stu out there, and those Europeans started up bowling on real tough conditions.
Hated it.
Yep, didn't like it off his hand.
And the other thing we spoke about was how great a spare shooter you needed to be to keep yourself in it. This attempt coming up for Wes Malott, indicative of that, the 3-10.
Yeah. He's going to try to fade his spare ball back into it, and there you go.
You think about the baby split, and it's really the 3-6-10 without the 6-pin, but we saw so many players miss this. And, again, every pin, every open frame so hard to overcome because you just can't throw enough strikes.
Yeah. Sparing something like that, you just basically say nice double.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't spare, you had to double to make up for it. So, especially when your opponent has an early open. Oh, my. Oh.
Holy 7-9. Beautiful release of big Wes Malott. And the 7-9 goes late.
I've watched that release for a long time.
You two actually teamed up and won a tournament recently.
Yeah, I hadn't won a PBA event in 24 years, and he helped me back in December win a over 50, under 50 doubles, and we won by quite a bit. It was awesome.
Well, congratulations.
24 years.
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
I know how much that meant to you. I read some of the blogs and read some stuff that you'd posted on Facebook, and so that was pretty awesome to see. And what a better guy to bowl with than Wes Malott.
Oh my gosh, this was our 4th try at it in that tournament, and he's bowled great every year, and I haven't helped him. We've gotten better every year, but I haven't done my part, and this year I finally contributed.
That's awesome.
He is a phenomenal bowler.
Yes, he is.
This kid, man, I tell you what, nothing rattles this kid.
Yeah, he's cyborg-like.
Oh.
It's like there's no pulse, even though he's alive.
Yeah.
We were talking about his 7th and 8th game today. He was bowling Shota game 7 and hadn't thrown a strike in 5 frames.
Yeah.
Gets up in the 10th, needs a double to win the match, changes balls.
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
Goes flushes 3 in the 10th.
I ran down there just in time for the 10th frame. I didn't know it was a ball change, but he labeled them. Ooh, that's amazing. Change balls in the 10th when you need a double. I just know he labeled them. That's all I knew when I went down there. He threw them like it was nothing.
Struggling right now, though. Only 1 strike through 5 frames. Malott, 1 strike. He's working on in the 4th.
Yep, the difference is that one early open by Francois.
Frankie Lavoie joining the list of major championship winners from Canada.
Yeah.
It all happened last year, him and Graham Fall.
Yeah, as you go all those years without anyone from Canada winning, and then all of a sudden, 2 majors.
Now Big West looking for a double.
Little extra loft there, but it's close.
I think he's trying to get it out on the lane just a little bit to get it to push a hair longer.
He started doing that towards halfway through match play, and all of a sudden he started going toward, he looked like he had a fantastic ball reaction. He made them look easier than they were.
Just grinding on him, up by 12, halfway through our opening match here at the PBA Xtra Frame Greater Jonesboro Open. Hijinx Family Entertainment Center. Corinne and her wonderful staff, what a job they do here each and every year.
This place, what a beautiful renovation. I've been coming here. I haven't bowled here before, but I've been coming here a long time and took it from just an average older bowling center and turned this into just a beautiful place.
Well, right now, Wes Malott has only missed the pocket once, and he's got 1 strike to show for it. But that 11-pin lead is big because we all know, especially the folks that have been following this event for the last couple of days, how tough it is to strike.
Especially early on, right out of the gate in the morning, a lot of 150s and 160 games out there, even by these top guys.
Mm-hmm. So, Robert, it's interesting watching Frankie because the location looks about the same. The ball reaction looks completely different. So that shot there shaped up nicely. Watch the back end reaction here. But remember, it was just a couple of frames ago when, he left the 6-count, the 6-count split.
Yeah, he went.
The 6-count washout.
Yeah, he went light and then he went high.
Yeah.
And for a bowler too, the bad part is sometimes you don't even feel the difference in those shots. Yep.
Here he comes.
That's what I was to say. Wes, you hang around and you wait too long, here comes this kid. He's tough at the end of the game.
He figured out the right amount of hand.
Yeah. And, he's got a great attitude, so he doesn't get flustered early on. He just goes about his business, and then it happens.
Zero emotions from him. Fortunate only leaving the 3-pin as Malott goes just a pinch high.
That's about going to even it up here.
You can see Wes's location is actually left of Frankie Lavoie. A lot of times you can actually hook it at that spare, but not this week.
Not recommended this week.
Yeah. Special thanks to our many sponsors here, but we would like to recognize Ritter Communications for all their help and their sponsorship of this great event. Big West. There we go.
Big shot there, keeping it even at this point.
I think one of the biggest things that enabled players to have success on this is touch.
Yeah.
When you watch the players that made it to the top 16 and the players that are now in our Stepladder, they all have good touch.
Yeah. As I like to say, be nice to it. They're nice to it at the bottom of the swing.
Yep.
Well, those 3 shots looked identical for a 3-bagger.
Beautiful strike there by Frankie Lavoie. And what's interesting is through the first 5 frames, he looked completely lost. And now all of a sudden he's dialed in.
Yep. That's what a good attitude will do for you. Keep your head in the game.
Yeah, keeps you in it.
Yep.
Ooh. A little quick, a little fast.
Yeah,
not as much hand.
Not as much hand.
Okay.
At the bottom, he kind of opened his hand up a little bit, but God, it just doesn't take much. As we were saying too, 1 board at the arrows can equal 5 boards down lane if your release is a little different. You think to yourself, man, I only missed by a board, or I was dead over my target, and the ball looks completely different at the end of the lane.
Now Big Wes Malott has a chance to take him out. Tough one here.
Oh, it is. He's a good spare shooter too, though.
He's just a good player.
Yeah,
you don't
just
win
all around. Yeah.
You don't win a U.S. Open without being good. That's why you won one.
Well, I was going to say I don't.
Hey, I never won a U.S. Open. All right, Big Wes Malott now can take the lead with a strike here in the 9th. And yeah,
You've won majors, though.
I won 1 major.
Well, okay. I watched it this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
The national championship, 87.
Oh. There's a West balk. Hadn't seen as much of that lately.
Hopefully that wasn't me he heard.
No. Not sure what makes him balk, but he used to do it quite a bit.
Sometimes it's me. He can hear my big mouth. I'm hoping that wasn't the time. I'm going to be quiet now.
Well, I do know some shows that I made years ago, and I could hear Bo and Chris sometimes, but as Bo and Chris, I wasn't going to say nothing to them. They can talk all they want.
Right?
Well, something's bothering him. I'm not sure what it is. Or he's just not ready.
Or is it the difficulty of the pattern making him overthink this next shot?
Who knows? It's
doesn't like it.
Nope. That was an unconfident shot.
Yeah. That was not not a good shot.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's a word, but
it was not a confident shot.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. He's got to put that behind him, cover this, and double in the 10th.
That's right. He didn't lose count. He's on a strike.
There you go. Got to regroup now, Wes. Get up in the 10th frame. Double in 9 forces Frankie Lavoie to double as well. Max score for Wes, 205. Max score for Frankie Lavoie, 213. How many times in your career and in your experience being around this sport for as long as I've been around it, 35-plus years, do you see a player take that long to throw it and then not pull off the good shot?
Yeah.
Got a hook.
Oh, boy.
Yep. Looked like it was a board right of where it had to be. And now Big Wes is in trouble. Remember that the last time on that lane, the ball was in between 3rd and 4th arrow, and that was right of 3rd arrow. And just like that, Frankie Lavoie is going to win this game and move on. And I know it's got to be extremely disappointing for Big Wes.
Yep.
He bowled a really solid game up until the 9th and 10th frame.
Yep. He could have easily had a 20 or 30 pin lead after 5 or 6 frames, but he didn't.
Yep.
And it caught up to him.
Yep. Frankie Lavoie will bowl Stu Williams.
Yep.
And the winner gets our tournament leader, who led by a bunch, Ryan Ciminelli. Robert Lawrence, Randy Peterson, Phil Brylow will be back for match number 2 right after this. Stay with us. We are set. Match number 2. Francois Lavoie getting us started. He's taking on Stu Williams. Frankie, a 2-time titleist. Stu Williams, a 1-time winner on the PBA Tour.
Ooh.
Remember the old, the great one, Billy Whaley used to say, hit him thin and watch him spin.
That's it.
Right? Finally, somebody in the Xtra Frame booth doing the stepladder finals that can actually relate to me, because I think we're probably the same age.
I say we're old. Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah, Frankie, he wasn't born when I won a U.S. Open.
Yes, that is correct.
So, yeah.
Let's remind everybody the all-important Storm Cup points, $20,000 to the winner. So every pin, every position, important. The Storm Cup Xtra Frame standings are available at PBA.com. And if you'd like to check out the Storm Cup schedule, that's also available. As we take a look at our current standings through 2 events, Dom Barrett's going to certainly improve on his position based on his finish. I think he finished 7th or 8th. I stand corrected. I think Dom finished a little bit lower than that. But it was probably 11th or better.
Yeah. How many total events are? I haven't been paying attention because I don't bowl that much, but
I believe
10 events or something.
I believe
like that?
there is 8.
8. Okay.
But you know what, Robert? You could always go to PBA.com and find that out. And also, if you wanted to subscribe to Xtra Frame, it would cost you about $1.25 a week.
Yeah. What a deal. I mean,
why
wouldn't you?
Well, you're stupid if you don't.
There you go.
All right. Frankie Lavoie working on a strike. Stu Williams struggling early. I always liked having a game under my belt, especially when they were hard, because you're relaxed. You know exactly what you have to do, and you know what the lanes are giving you. Now it's just all execution.
Yep. And you said you know what you got to do, and you also know what you can't get away with.
Sure.
And that's huge. The new guy comes on the pair, not sure, can I miss right? Can I miss it? Can I, grab it? Frankie knows he made all those mistakes in the first 5 or 6 frames and figured them out.
Doesn't like it.
Oh.
I think he's a little surprised with that one, Robert.
I think I see a smile almost, or a little bit of a reaction.
No.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, I think that was just indigestion.
All right.
When you bowl so many games on a certain pattern, your brain becomes programmed. And you know pretty much what you can and can't do. But I like the way you explain it. You come onto a fresh pair, that's still embedded in your mind. But you know what? Frankie knows maybe I can get away with it a little bit to the right.
Yep.
Stu doesn't know that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or I can miss a little bit left and it'll hold on that left lane.
And across this house, every pair was different. You could get away with some things on some pairs. Other pairs, it was a disaster.
Yep.
And you come to this pair fresh. What does he know? But
exactly.
He just threw 2 great shots.
Yeah, that was a great shot there in the 4th frame for a double for Stu Williams. Lavoie working on a 3-bagger. Looked inside to me.
Oh, that's
like a split.
You beat me to it. I was going to say that might as well be a split.
You might as well have left the 3-9-10.
Oh,
and he knew it.
Yep.
It could have easily have been just the 3-pin, but instead it's a 3-6-9-10.
Yep. It's another one of those spares when you make it, again, I just say nice double, because you would have had to double to make up for it. Some guys hook at it, some throw straight and hard and jam it. Like that. Jammed it right in there.
That's a great cover, by the way.
Yep.
Your margin for error doing that and throwing the straight ball is not very much, and Frankie covered it perfectly. We see E.J. Tackett actually throw a little bit of a backup ball at that.
And about twice the speed, too, I think.
Yeah. Lavoie looks like he's been rolling around in the parking lot based on what his pants look like. A great roll there.
That is. That's same reaction. Same facial expression.
That never changes. When he shot 300 on the U.S. Open show, the first player to ever do that, the facial expression never changed. Stu Williams, yeah, got it in.
That's a fast 8 in my book.
Well, he could have taken a lead with a strike here. And you can see how quickly that jumped.
Yeah.
And it's so, the mistake is so minor at the bottom of the swing. A fraction, a little more hand pressure, a fraction more or slower speed. And you're not getting anywhere near the pocket.
And here's what made it hard. It's almost like if you could have two balls in one shot. You need a weak enough ball, or you think you need it weak enough to get it through the front part of the lane. But because of the oil that gets down the lane, you need a strong enough ball to make it tip up down lane. So you throw a strong ball, you cut it off a little bit, it goes crazy. You throw a weak ball and you get through it, it never hooks. It's
Oh my. So strong ball, soft hand?
Yeah, that was really. I think the ones that are still bowling were able to do that. The ones that were in the finals were able to do that. You didn't see a lot of guys bowling in match play that grab on it a lot.
All right, it's an 11-pin match, but Frankie Lavoie working on a strike. Both players clean through 5.5. Looks good.
Oh, very nice. It's going to be key for him also, or whoever wins this match, at the end of the game, that they stay comfortable, because they're going to need it all in the title match.
What's a normal sleeping heart rate per minute? What do you think that number is?
I'm not that smart.
For Frankie, about 3 beats a minute.
No. Like in general, I mean, what would a good number be? Because that's Frankie's right now.
Yeah. Oh,
beautiful.
Very nice.
He's just putting a good touch on it. That young man has got great feel, great touch, and he's a shot maker.
Yep. He's comfortable. He knows what to do.
Not a high rev guy.
If he misses the 1-3 now, he'll be mad at himself because he knows he made a mistake.
Hang on. Just a pinch too much down lane reaction.
I think Stu's feeling it, slipping away.
Absolutely. He's trailing by 32 right now, and Frankie Lavoie is just putting it to him.
That body language tells me that he knows he's in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, as our friend Rob Gotcha would say, Frankie Lavoie's taking Stu up back behind the shed.
For a beating.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
And that's hard because it's hard enough to get to the pocket.
Right.
And then you need all those to carry.
You know, look, Frankie Lavoie's down lane reaction's much more subtle. He's getting it in that little swish zone. He's carrying that hit.
Yeah. His, as we call it, the response time down lane, Frankie's response time is a little longer. He has a bigger margin or a window to hit down lane. Stu's got that sharp change of direction. It's got to be in the right spot. I mean, those were two really pretty good shots there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the last three were in the vicinity. Look out.
See? He knows it. He's not going to be happy with himself there.
You know, right now for him, though, it's just all about filling frames.
Yep.
If he stays in the 230s and even the high 220s, there's nothing Stu Williams can do about it because Stu max scored 223.
it's funny, too, if you look at his score. 3-bagger, 6-count, 3-bagger, 6-count. The minute you maybe relax just a hair or think you got a little more than you really do, that's what you get. It takes 100% every shot.
Yep. You know, and then the other thing is once you get this big lead, is there a tendency maybe to look ahead and think, what do I have to do to beat Ryan Ciminelli?
I would hope not. There's no looking ahead on this. Both of those spares he just left were extremely easy to miss, and he could have been in real trouble, but he kept himself in it with great spare shooting.
Again, that half pocket shot has found a home. He's got to have them all now.
Yeah, that's.
You know, and as a player, you hate to second guess yourself, but in this situation now, you start kind of doing the calculations in your head. Should I have used this ball? Should I have played him different? Should I have used this hand? Should I have done this? Should I have done that?
I think we all do that, right?
Absolutely.
We've all done it over the. I'm still thinking about tournaments 25, 30 years ago. What if I'd have done this?
Yeah.
And here we are 30 years later. But, y'all, that's bowlers. You're going to do that. And
it's a one-game match. It's so hard. People don't realize how hard it is to win. There you go.
Yep.
Finally gives one a little bit of room, and it comes up light.
Yep.
So, but it was a great week for Stu Williams, and he'll take home third-place prize money. And Frankie Lavoie continues to climb the ladder, and he will bowl Ryan Ciminelli for the title.
Oh, nice.
There you go, Stu.
You know, and Stu bowled a great position round game to go around Big West by one pin.
He had actually a great day today.
Yeah, he did.
To get himself into match play, and then was very strong in match play.
And, of course, the field ball.
Last two U.S. Open champs are going to bowl for the title here in Jonesboro.
Oh, wow. Frankie needs to throw one more really good shot here.
Maybe a test shot, or does he stay with what he's been doing?
Maybe a test shot, I think.
Little area check.
Let's see here. Yep. That's something different. Just, I think.
Well, it was the same ball, but it may have been a different layout.
Yeah.
All right, folks, title match coming up just a few moments. Stay with us. Robert Lawrence, Randy Peterson, live in Jonesboro. All right, everyone, welcome back to PBA Xtra Frame Greater Jonesboro Open here at Hijinx Family Entertainment Center. Corinne and her great staff, what an awesome job the ladies do here. Robert Lawrence, U.S. Open champ, Robert Lawrence. You have a lot in common with this title match coming up because both players are the past two U.S. Open champions. Francois Lavoie climbing the ladder to take on tournament leader Ryan Ciminelli. And, oh, by the way, Robert, Ryan led this event by 304 pins.
Yep. Isn't that kind of what he did at the U.S. Open?
Yeah, absolutely. Take a look at our current Storm Cup standings through two events. Don Barrett currently in the lead. And remember, the season-ending Storm Cup finale will award the winner with an extra $20,000 as we get started with Frankie Lavoie on the left lane, which means he'll finish the match, and he'll finish on the right lane. And our first look at young Ryan Ciminelli, who hails out of the Buffalo, New York area.
So Ryan either chose to finish on a specific lane for himself, or he wanted Frankie to finish the match. Not sure if he had a favorite lane of the two, but that was a pretty good shot. He did a lot of that.
Yeah. No other left-hander cashed in this event. Very similar to, as you mentioned, his U.S. Open performance.
Well, Two of them, I think. Two lefties in the cashier's round.
Two other lefties?
Yes.
And coming in light, leaving the 3-7. And folks, I stand corrected. There was two other left-handers that made it to the cashier's round. Remember, for winning today, you get 25 points in the Storm Cup standings.
Kevin Williams was one of those lefties, two-handed lefty.
Yep. And Jared Wolf.
No, he's not a lefty. There was another one. I don't think anyone. Yeah, didn't have a lot of fun.
Well,
not as much fun as this Ryan guy.
Yeah, but I mean, to put everything in perspective, he just in qualifying was 450 pins ahead of the next highest left-hander.
Sounds like something the old Mr. Earl Anthony used to do.
Yeah, there was plenty of tournaments where Earl led by 500-600, and there were no other lefties that had cashed. So Johnny Petraglia had events like that as well, where he led by a ton. Our good buddy Johnny Petraglia. He's been with Brunswick now for like 103 years.
I love that guy.
He's great. He's the greatest.
Oh, he's got the greatest stories.
And Frankie looking to take advantage of the opening. 6-pin almost fell. But, you know, how many times have we seen players lead by a bunch only to lose in a one-game match? Yeah. It's the downside of the Stepladder finals.
Yep.
It's almost like your tournament leader should get at least 2 cracks at winning, you know? A 2-game match.
Like a Masters where you got to lose twice to be out.
I mean, what's the consolation prize for the tournament leader who leads by 500? Maybe a rule that, okay, if you lead by more than 500 pins, they got to beat you twice. And all you have to do is win one of those games. So you got 2 games. All you have to do is win one to win the title. I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay. The only consolation is you can't finish worse than second when it comes to money, but always want to win. So I find it interesting. I mean, it might have been a mistake, but Ryan chose to start on the right lane, throws a couple strikes now on it, and the lane he chose to finish on, he's got a split.
Yeah, but you know as well as I do that Ryan pretty much has the same thing that the right-handers have. You get it aboard to the left, and he's, especially with pace, and he's going to go light.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to leave that 3-7.
There it is again, out the window.
Wow.
Haven't seen him do that this week.
So Ryan could struggle here. They were a lot tighter since they oiled and sat all day. They were a lot tighter. So could be the same on the left.
You know, Wes Malott sitting right behind us, and he gave us some great intel. He says, you know, this pair was oiled, and it sat all day. And he said this pair was significantly tighter than what they had bowled on all day. And so we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. But, Robert, you bring up a great point. He chooses to finish the match on the left lane, and he's got an open in the second, and he whipped the head pin in the fourth.
Yep. Not sure what he saw in practice, and I'm not sure if those were just, you know, mentally bad shots. Oh, right through the nose. Strike. You know, there was a lot of that this weekend also, and no one seemed to be bothered by it.
No.
They just accepted it because they know that really wasn't as bad a mistake as it may have looked like. So the other players would, you know, no one shook their head or grumbled about it.
when they get this hard, you're going to have that. You're
Yep.
going to have Brooklyns,
Yep.
and you know it's just part of the deal.
Oh, I know. That's why I made money this weekend. Brooklyns were allowed.
Look out! Same thing.
That was a deceleration.
Yeah, and it looked like it was a little left.
Yep.
You know, I always had so much trouble bowling on a pattern like this because as soon as I felt like I couldn't miss an inch to the right, I couldn't get it off my hand.
Yeah. Yep. That's pretty much how I felt today. I mean, I never was really comfortable yesterday, but I was in 11th. Today, just locked up swing, and I couldn't break 190. It's amazing what happens to your swing.
Yeah.
When your speed has to be perfect, your release has to be perfect, your target has to be perfect.
Well, towards the end of my career, it didn't take a lot for me to get locked up. But I'll tell you what, you take a little bit left and right away, and I couldn't pry it out of my hand with a crowbar. You know, Wes Malott brought up a great point. This guy dominated this event, and this pair got oiled this morning, and it sat all day.
Yep.
And he said, hey, they were tighter. And that pair, the Stepladder finals pair was tighter and flatter, like they could get any flatter.
Yep.
Wes brings up a good point. He says that the oil just kind of laid there and then just kind of spread out. But Ciminelli just trailing by 14, and it's just because of the one open in the second.
Yeah, I mean, he looks lost and it looks bad, but he's a double away from being right in it.
Yeah.
Or an open from Frankie away from being right in it. There's no gimmies.
Obviously not what he had all week.
Again, I think they're tighter to the left, and it's forcing him farther right than what he's been able to have to do all week, and they're even flatter in there.
We're gonna let Wes Malott jump in here. And Wes has just made a great point. So Wes, I'm going to turn your mic on and go ahead and tell everybody what you just said.
Well, guys, you know, as I've said, the lanes were oiled earlier today, and they've sat here. They didn't get re-oiled right before the matches that we're bowling right now, and from what I saw out there, they definitely were a little tighter. I had to ball up to something that I hadn't used all day today, and forced me to open my angles more, and that's exactly what I see Ryan having to do now. He's not necessarily having to change balls, but it's tighter, so therefore it's forcing him, you know, closer to the head pin and forcing him right, and he's just getting into to where it's a lot flatter. And you know, I'm not real sure what the move is. I don't know if it's, you know, balling up and moving left and staying firm, but he's definitely struggling a little bit right now.
Yeah, it seemed like when he felt, if anything he had to do, he just seemed like he just threw it harder and jammed it in there if he had to. Now it's almost like he's trying to shape it a little bit.
Right, and I think that's going to get him in trouble.
Yeah.
That was kind of my deal through match play, and even this morning, you know, I was throwing a pretty low end ball, which is, I mean, it was a storm ride, so 20 diff and a little bit weaker cover or whatnot. It just allowed me to stay farther right. I could just roll it, didn't force me to be firm, and also just kept me out of trouble, and that's all I wanted to do. And I knew I wasn't probably going to shoot a big game, but I also knew I wasn't going to shoot a real low game, and that's exactly what my strategy was, and it worked out for the most part. And you know, I think Ryan kind of had that look too, and now they're a little flatter right now, and it's forcing him to move around out of a zone that he's been in all weekend.
Frankie Lavoie could possibly win this title shooting 190.
Oh, easily. I mean, 190 is a great game, actually. I didn't see the scores from the last game, but I know Frankie had a few strikes and
He did, yeah.
pulled a pretty good game. So
He knows what to do and what not to do. It's just a matter of executing now. I think he's at that point, but I think Ryan's still in the questionable.
he's still
He's
searching.
questioning everything he's doing right now.
Yeah, he's searching.
Yep.
You know,
And it happens so fast in one
Yep.
game.
Knowing his game, I would say move left and jam it back up in there and just trust your game. I mean, that's what he can do better than really anybody.
He
I mean,
just
and the normal move, like for me, when I wanted to move left and slow down a little bit, normally it's like a 5-board move for me. But when it's shorter and flatter like this, that 5-board move now became a 9 or a 10-board move on this particular pattern.
and looking at that last shot, I'm really surprised because, I mean, I haven't watched him the whole weekend because he's been on the other side of the building when I was bowling.
Correct.
But all I have seen is him throw it really hard. And now it looks like he's trying to trying to shape the ball some, and he's a little bit in and trying to hook it a little. And
He looks like he's bowling on the right side of the lane now.
You know what's funny? I was bowling Ryan in the position round match, and he goes, you usually don't see the left side of the lane and the right side of the lane play the same, and both of us have the same reaction right now. And that was not even on this pair. That was that was earlier in match play when he was still bowling pretty good.
he looks like he has my ball reaction, and that's you're not going to win with that. You're not going to win any.
Robert, stop it.
Well, when your A shot goes bucket,
Yeah.
that's a bad sign. And
Trouble.
This is not good.
Unfortunately, I think you can kind of see it on his face.
Yeah.
He's already starting to accept the fact that you lead a tournament by so much, and then have something like this happen.
Exactly.
And you hate to see it happen.
You do.
Us as bowlers, understanding. I mean, I think we've all probably been there at some point to where we've led by a decent amount, and then to just have it ripped away with the format the way it is. But
Yep.
we all know it is what it is, and we've been on the other end of it too.
Mm-hmm. Frankie Lavoie, cruise control, beautiful shot.
Yeah.
You can see even his angles are shut down more than Ryan's. There's really no.
He's
no
deep.
shape.
He's deep, but he's not giving the pocket
Correct.
away.
Yep. And he's been through a lot more transition all week, so it's it's not as much of a guess as it is to say Ryan.
And we talked about it earlier. He's been on the pair the whole time. He knows what to do and what not to do. And
absolutely.
Then the new guy jumps over there and has to figure out. And it's happening again, even on the left side of the lane.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yep.
Guys, we still got to go back, though, to Game 7 and Game 8 and what Frankie Lavoie did just to get to the top 4. I mean, if he doesn't strike out against Shota Kawazoa, he's not bowling. He's not on this Stepladder finals. And to strike out in the 7th and then to win the position round, the 8th game, pretty stellar stuff for now 3-time champion Frankie Lavoie.
Well, it's got one more frame. You can't say it until he's done physically completed the game. But you are right.
But that last shot,
I think it's a safe bet.
You think?
That last shot by Ryan was more what I was remember seeing him doing. Straighter, move left, threw it hard. He 6-pinned, and whenever he 6-pinned, he would just throw it harder.
Yep.
There you go.
Kind of like that.
I mean, but you see, he's still not carrying. He's 6-pin and kind of flat 7 there, and that's exactly why I think he tried to move right, because he didn't have the carry that he had, the last 2 days. So
again, it happened so fast. Obviously, he made a tactical error probably.
He knows he bowled well. I mean,
still hard to accept.
I know I was very upset after losing to Frankie, just because of the fact that Stewart had to beat me by 57 pins to go around me by 1 pin in the position round, and that's exactly what he did. And so I was still a little bummed about that, and I think it carried over a little bit into this match that I had. But Ryan's handling pretty well, considering. I mean, it's part of it. And
it's a weird feeling. I say a weird feeling for some of us. I don't know, maybe not everybody, but when you're on the winning side of that, you just beat a guy that beat everyone.
Correct.
And it's kind of a weird feeling. You want to win, but you just beat a guy that really earned
won
it.
by a ton. Correct. Yeah, it's but again, it's part of the format. We know what it is, and we've got to make the most of the opportunities that we have, because it can easily go the other way too.
Yep.
While we're here, I see Corinne standing right in front of us. I just want to take a second to personally thank Stacy, Corinne, Megan and Amber, all the girls here that absolutely treat us like royalty here. It's stellar. So thank you guys so much for everything.
Most
you do
definitely.
For us.
First time I got to experience it. What a wonderful
It's
host.
incredible.
All
We're going
right.
to send out to Randy Pearson right now for our winners interview with Frankie Lavoie.
I got it. Thank you, Pete. How about a great round of applause for Ryan Ciminelli, folks, and our other finalists. But our champion from Canada, Frankie Lavoie. Frankie, the lanes were incredibly difficult this week. What was it that you did mentally to keep yourself in this tournament?
You know, I just think I reminded myself of what I do best, and that's keep the ball in play. And I like when the patterns are harder. It suits my game a little bit better. I don't strike as much as everybody else, so I just reminded myself of that and made sure I kept the ball in play and made some spares. And I think most of that game plan is what got me here.
Was there any trick, anything special you tried to do on the championship pair?
Yeah, just like I said, I was trying to keep the ball in play, so I was really trying to fluff the ball almost. I wasn't trying to do much to it. I was trying to keep it in the pocket, hit the 1-3, and leave some makeable spares. And I knew it's been incredibly difficult all weekend, so if I left some makeables, I was putting myself in a good position, and that's all you can ask for.
You know, we talk about it a lot, whether it's television or Xtra Frame, but everybody's dying to know what's going through your mind when you're out there, because we don't get a lot from you.
Yeah, there's not much in my mind either. I try to keep it as blank as possible.
Pretty good formula. What's next for you?
Next week I'll be in Lubbock at the next Xtra Frame event, so hopefully that goes well there too.
Congratulations. Your champion here in Jonesboro, Frankie Lavoie.